All right. It is finally autumn. I am so excited. You guys, I love autumn more than any other month of the year. One of the things I think I missed the most down south was that change in the temperature with the leaves changing. You didn't always get to see that down around the ocean. And so it's nice to be back in an area with beautiful autumn skies. We've got beautiful sunrises, beautiful sunsets. The weather today is absolutely glorious. I hope to change my clothes, pull my hair up, and get out there and work on my yard here in just a few minutes when this is over. But for now, hi everyone. I wanted to come and talk to you about just some thoughts that I was having about being a nice person. And I don't know if anyone will interrupt this video or not, but let's hope we can get through it. So being a nice person, it's kind of been something that I've worked on my whole life. I think I've had different stages of why I am a nice person or why I try to be a nice person. And now in my life, I'm definitely at a stage where I just want everyone to feel loved. I want everyone to feel like they matter. I want to be respectful to other people, and I definitely want to take their burdens away. Like that is something, one second, guys. I have a message. Hold on. Okay, back again. My husband's trying to text me messages right now, and I'm like, dude, I'm busy. But I'm trying definitely to work really hard on going out of my way to make sure others feel appreciated. And it's not an easy thing to do. In the world we live in, there are so many reasons to just be kind of bitter and full of kind of pettiness almost at people, because people are kind of rude and kind of mean, and it can be overwhelming. But I really do try to do everything I can to not let their moods affect me. It's hard. It is so hard because I have a very empathetic kind of personality where if I'm in a room and like say there's 10 people there, 2 people might be in a horrible mood, I will start to feel sick in my stomach. I will feel like the energy coming off of those grumpy people. If someone's really, really sad or depressed, it can make me also feel kind of anxious and kind of like what's going on. And it's weird because they may not tell me that they're upset or angry or depressed or whatever's going on, but I will feel their feelings. It's super annoying. Not my favorite thing about myself. Though it does get me, kind of keep me out of some trouble because honestly, like I'm a pretty good judge of character and I can meet different types of people and know whether or not they're sincere about 90% of the time. I'd say my anxiety kicks in pretty heavily when it's a bad person. So I'm lucky for that, I guess. But yeah, I started thinking about how different things are for me now and in the fact that I'm like that, because while I look back over my life, I feel like I've always tried to be nice to people. I was brought up with the golden rule where, you treat others the way you want to be treated. But for me, it wasn't always for that reason. It was sometimes because like I just didn't want to get in trouble, or I didn't want to cause more trouble, because I'm from a very like different kind of situation than I would hope most people, although I think unfortunately most of us come from a pretty junky childhood, which is just sad. Which is also what pushes me to be nice, is my junky childhood. I feel like I know where I came from and how people treated me, and I don't want to treat people like that, so I try and go completely the opposite way. And I'm very lucky that I had people in my life who treated me well as on top of the bad, but I try and go out of my way to be nice. And so as I was growing up, sometimes I would be nice because like if I'm nice, maybe I won't get in trouble, or if I'm extra good, maybe someone else won't get like hurt, because my mom was abused. And sometimes I would think if I would just like really watch what I was doing and really be careful, then maybe she wouldn't get beat up that day, which stemmed from my sister not knowing when to shut up and my mom getting smacked because my sister wouldn't shut up. So yeah, that was happening in my household. So I think at a young age was very aware of other people's moods and like how to navigate through them. So I think that has kind of been in my background and it has helped me. As I got older, hormones kicked in. I think that was part of it. But also, by the time I was 16, some pretty heavy stuff was going on. That's when I ended up admitting to my part of my family that I was sexually abused and them not believing me, as well as finding out that my dad was not my dad, which was really devastating. And it was all a lot to handle. Like, that's a lot of big things to deal with. And so I became very angry and depressed and extremely suicidal probably around that time of my life. And so being nice to people that were close to me became very difficult, but being nice to people outside my circle was easier because I felt like the people who weren't in my circle were listening to me. They were trying to help me. They were trying to hear what I had to say, and they were trying to be understanding. Whereas the people who were meant to protect me and who were in my circle of trust, so to say, were the ones who were hurting me and the ones who were causing me more pain. So it was a very difficult time in my life, and being nice wasn't easy. I was very mad a lot of the time, and I would just say really hateful, mean things because I was just fed up. I was fed up of not having a voice, and I feel like that can happen, and I understand that. And so, you know, when I meet someone who's extremely angry, I often wonder, like, what happened? Like, why are you so angry? What's the cause of this anger? Because there's a reason. People don't understand that. I feel like we make so many excuses for so many behaviors anymore, and I really truly believe like there's a reason, there is something that happened. Go find out what that reason is. So there was that stage in my life where I wasn't always nice, but I did try. And I've had to go back actually to the people who I interacted with during that time in my life and really just apologize for how I was, because I really was rude to so many people who didn't deserve it. And I explained to them what was going on, and I was like, you know, this is what was going on at that time in my life, and I am terribly sorry that you caught that wave of anger that I was dealing with. So they've all been very great and are still a part of my life, and I'm so blessed that I was able to ask them for forgiveness because it really bothered me. I don't like to be mean to people. I hate being mean to people. Like, if I get in a fight with someone, I will cry forever. Like, if I have had my fill and lose my temper and just word vomit all over the place and I'm nasty and mean and say the things I'm thinking but really shouldn't say because I'm heated, I get so upset. I can't handle it, and people don't really even understand how bad I will feel after that. So I am not someone who wants to have a fight with someone. And so that leads me to where I am now in my life, I think, is I don't want to have fights with people. I do not want to have problems with people. I will listen and do my best to keep my mouth shut about a lot of things. But there are times where I really wish I could find a balance between being nice and not speaking my truth. Because I do think there's something to be said about speaking your truth in love. Like, you have to be able to find a way to speak your truth in love to those who are causing you turmoil of some kind. It's not easy to do. I haven't figured out how to do it all the way. Sometimes I can and sometimes I can't. I'm more of I blow up and then have to ask forgiveness kind of person, and I hate that, but it's kind of how I am. I'm working on it. That's all I can say. Like, I can just smile and say I'm sorry. But I've been doing a lot of thinking about the whole, what it is to be nice. Why is this something that is easier for some and not for others? And I think there are so many emotions that can cause you to not want to be nice to someone. I know there's been times in my life, and now mind you, I am speaking as a woman. So like, if you're a man, you may not understand this. If you're a younger person, you may not understand this. There's so many variables that can create who I am, right? So I remember a time in my life where I was at the pool and this woman came and she had a son with her who looked to be about the same age as my son. And she was gorgeous, like gorgeous. Like I just was so intimidated. And that's the truth right there. I was just like, done. Like I can't be her friend because she is a size 2 and she has kids and she's beautiful blonde hair and this beautiful body, and nope, not gonna be her friend. Y'all, I felt like such a jerk when I actually met her and realized she's amazing. We are still friends to this day, and I'm so glad I got over myself. But I had made this opinion in my head that because she was so beautiful and skinny and perfect looking on the outside, that there was no way that we could be friends because I was insecure. And that's really what it boiled down to, was I was insecure. So I think that can play into how you treat others. I think that if you have a past with someone, it can be really difficult to be kind to them and to be nice to them because you start thinking about all the times they hurt you, all the times that they've done wrong. You have to come to a place where that stuff is let go. And I'm not saying you forget it, and I'm not saying you let them continue to hurt you, but I am saying there has to come a time where you're just like, I quit being mad about this. Like I can't hold on to this anymore. And it may come back. It may come back and you may have to deal with it. You may have to do this 100 times, but it's better for you in the long run to let go and move forward. And that is something that's very difficult for people when they get slighted by someone, especially if it's happened on more than one occasion. It's really hard for them to even like hold their tone and be nice. Then you have people who just aren't nice. To the point of, they might be helpful people. They might be people who like will do what they can for others as much as possible. But it's hard to believe that it's from the heart because it's like they just have such a cold demeanor to them that it's hard to understand that they actually do care and are trying to be good and aren't just doing that to almost like do penance for their own whatever. Because sometimes I think it comes across like that. And I know people like that who just are so harsh, and they say they're not harsh, they just are real. And I appreciate that. I appreciate people wanting to be their authentic selves, but you can be yourself and not be a jerk. You can have like a smile and you can be kind and you can build people up, because if you aren't building them up, you're tearing them down. Let's be really honest. And people have a lot of issues and people have a lot of sensitivities, and it's just sometimes better for everyone to be kind and to be nice. And so I really get tired of dealing with people who are like, I'm just being real. Well, be real and be nice. It is possible. I am very real, but I am very nice at the same time. It's completely possible. Are there times where I probably would like to say things to people and I don't? Yes. Why? If I'm being real, why don't I say things? I have to decide if that statement is worth it or not. Is it going to change how they are? Is it going to make a difference? Or is it just going to cause problems? So those are things I take into account when I'm dealing with people that maybe are getting on my nerves. I'm not trying to be a fake person. I'm not trying to pretend to be any kind of way. I'm trying to be myself. And myself is someone who loves people so much. I care about everyone I've ever met. I've never, ever not cared about someone that I've met. If you've told me your story and I have shared any part of your life with me, chances are I still think about you and hope that you're doing okay. Even if you've done me wrong, I probably still hope you're doing okay. I have had to cut certain people out of my lives, and I still to this day wish that I could have some kind of conversation with them, have some kind of interaction with them, and make amends with everything, because I care about them. I want to know that they're okay. But I know that that's not going to change and that's not going to happen, so I have to let go. So, just because someone is kind, just because someone is nice, just because someone is smiling and not getting into fights all the time. It doesn't mean that they're not real. It doesn't mean that they're fake. It just means that they maybe are learning to rise above some of the hate in the world. And that's kind of a cool thing, right? Like, I think more people should be like that. There are a lot of professional people who should definitely learn how to be nice and to rise above their own emotions and their own moods, because golly, there are so many people that we have to interact with professionally that are just like, why are you doing this? If you don't like to be around people, why are you doing this? Have you ever gone to the doctor and had a nurse that just so shouldn't be a nurse? Like, seriously, why are you doing this? You have no bedside manner. You should not be working with people. Or you see, people who want to be daycare workers or child care givers or whatever, and they're horrible with children. And you're like, why are you doing this then? Like, seriously, don't take jobs you can't do, people. Don't take jobs you can't do. True story. So that's kind of some of the thoughts I've had this week about being nice and about being kind. I also have to share this other side of it, because this is something that recently happened where my mom and I were having a conversation. I was like, oh, yes, preach, because this is something that happens, especially I think to women. I think, when we have heard about the Me Too movement, which me too, sisters, for real. I definitely think that it's very strange the levels of what's being categorized in that. I don't know, like, I feel like I'm very on the fence about some of them. Like, some of them I'm like, I don't care if someone says to me as I'm passing by that I'm beautiful or hot or whatever, because I'm just going to keep on walking and I'm not going to pay attention. And who knows, maybe I was having a bad day and someone said I was pretty or, whistled at me. And then I was like, oh, I guess I look better than I thought I did. Like, I am not so sure that I really fully agree with that completely, that should be considered horrible. Though don't go around doing it, because it is kind of rude. But I'm just saying, like, to me, that's not something that bothers me personally as much as it does other women. But one of the things that drives me crazy is, because I'm nice, because I smile a lot, because I will talk to strangers, I get some unwanted attention sometimes. Like, people trying to creep and like be like, hey baby, da 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 da. And I'm like, no. Like, no. Like, I'm not interested. Like, don't creep on me just because I'm nice. I appreciate that you think something, but you keep it to yourself. I'm good. Thanks. I'm very good. Like, I've got someone who tells me I'm beautiful every day, so I'm good. But yeah, what is that? Like, why is it that, certain people, I think it's just that they're so hard up for attention and so hard up for interaction with like people, that then they like seek it out in the wrong way, so to say, and so then they're doing these things that just, can you not please? But my mom and I were talking about that, and I was like, it's so crazy, because even her being in her 60s, like, if she's nice and kind to someone, they might take it the wrong way and be like, oh, like, hey, I want to talk to you all the time now. And she's not realizing what's going on. And then she's like, hey, I'm married, dude. Like, stop talking to me. And it's just crazy to me how misinterpretations of your kindness can happen simply because of their own like need for extra attention or whatever it is. So I just thought that was a really interesting little bit this week that, came up in conversation about being kind to others, being nice to others. And then there was the flip side of it. Like, then you can sometimes have like bad situations like that. And I was like, true story. Like, I know in very many of stories coming from different women, of unwanted attention from men simply because they smiled, or worse, you're not smiling and some man tells you that you would be prettier if you did smile. That's so frustrating. Don't say that to women. Don't claim to be my friend, say hi to me one day via message, and then get mad at me because I'm too busy to notice that you sent the message. So then you say something like, when someone says hi, you're supposed to say hi back. That's a nice thing to do, like with some sort of attitude. Listen, I have a life. I have 3 kids and a husband. I have a house that I'm trying to take care of, and I have a job, and I don't have time in the middle of the day all the time to say hi to everyone who says hi to me. So I'm so sorry that your feelings were hurt. Like, honestly, that's not my problem. That sounds like a personal problem for real. But I definitely see like why it's a struggle to be nice. I understand that people are really difficult to deal with. I realize that it can be really difficult to deal with your own insecurities and like your prejudice against like pretty people, or you know, whatever it is, whatever you're prejudiced against, or you know, making those quick judgments on others like I did with my friend just because she was cute in a bikini. You know, like, don't do those things, and don't let your own insecurities cause you problems and cause you to not be nice to other people. I 100% think my grandma was right to teach us the golden rule of treating others the way you want to be treated. You know, we teach that at the place that I work, and I love that. I think it's important. I think it's very true. And like, I would want people to smile at me. I would want people to tell me I look nice. I would want people to ask me how I'm doing and be sincere in wanting to know if I'm okay or not. I would want people to help me if I was in need. And these are the things that I try to live by, and it's not easy and sometimes can be very exhausting. And like I said, you know, there are times when I am surrounded by people and their emotions are causing me to feel sick. And I'm so thankful that I have a position where I'm able to come home and have an hour to myself almost every day. There's one day a week that I don't get that hour, but typically I have an hour to myself, and I come home and I just decompress and I shake all that off of me and try and be okay when my family gets home. It does not always work. Some of those things can linger, but I do my best. And I hope that you guys are too. I hope that you are out there and you see that the world is just in need of people to, you know, spread love and kindness and not spread hate. And it's just something I really feel strongly about. Like, I will never be the type of person who will try and pick a fight with someone just because I'm in a bad mood or just, you know, whatever. Although there are times I think my husband would disagree and say that I do that, but typically I don't do that. Sometimes I'm cranky and he has to deal with my moods, but that's not my fault. Those are hormones. That's not my own emotions. It's just obnoxious girl hormones that go on. But I really do hope that you'll listen to what I've said. You'll share some love and positivity and kindness with others, and you'll smile and just put your best self forward. That's kind of my goal to living my life, is just put my best self forward. You know, a lot of people will ask me, you know, why do you do your makeup every day? Or why do you do your hair? You know, why are you so dressed up? Even though I don't ever think I'm that dressed up. But to be honest, like, I do those things because once I do that, I feel more like myself. I feel like I'm putting my best self out there. I'm doing what I can to show others that not only do I care about myself, but I care about them. Like, I'm going out of my way to make sure I look good and presentable for others. So that could be another topic for another day. Today, let's just talk about being nice, and I hope that you are enjoying this beautiful, beautiful fall weather. I'm about to head out and pick up a grill for my husband and maybe see one of my friends in the process. So I will talk to you all next time. I'm really sorry it took so long. I'm trying so hard to get better at not letting my want for the video to be perfect to be why I don't post. So posting this one, you're going to see it no matter what, right? It's happening. And I will talk to you next time. Happy Sunday, y'all.